Well, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
We're doing good, doing good.
I'm going to go ahead and ring the meditation singing bell to clear our space and energy, and then we can get started.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All
Okay. So,
right.
what do you have
So,
for?
yeah, so I did this chart for right now for Arizona,
Okay.
and so you'll see that the opposition of the sun and moon from the full moon has moved forward a little bit. The full moon was actually yesterday morning at oh, I'm sorry, excuse me, yesterday evening between 2 and 5. So 5 here on the East Coast, 2 out your way. And the general concept is that full moons have about a 3-day effect. It was in Leo. Um, on the lionmountainhealing.com article, I started it with the Sabian symbol, which I love the Sabian symbols. I don't use them all the time, but this configuration, you see everything kind of all clustered up here. It's pretty intense times that we're in. Tomorrow, Uranus will station direct, so that adds to this sort of chaotic kind of feeling. The weather patterns certainly have been affected across, I think, globally, actually, not just the United States. And so when we have a Leo full moon, some of the ideas of Leo are like willpower, determination. Um, Leo is a ruler of the heart. It's a fire fixed sign, can be very bossy. Um, Leos are ruled by the sun, so we certainly like to be the center of attention. Um, Leos can be, in a positive expression, very generous, and in a negative expression, very conceited. I know that I've explained this before years ago on one of our lives, but it's something that really stuck with me, so I'm going to repeat it here for people that hadn't heard it the first time. So Western astrologers are very different than European astrologers. In Europe, the astrology, specifically in Greece, it's part of their heritage. It's never questioned. It is part of their mythology. Whereas in Western astrology, we sort of pigeonholed it into entertainment, for people to want to just hear about love and money. There certainly is a spiritual aspect, but I'm just trying to set up the explanation for how sort of ancient astrology differed a little bit from the more Americanized astrology. So in America, Leos typically are defined as being obsessed with the mirror, that they're very vain. And I'm not saying that there aren't Leos who aren't vain, but that tends to be a sort of stereotypical um, expression. Whereas I studied in the Greek islands, and when they talked about Leo, they mentioned that the reference to the mirror has to do with Leo's inner insecurities, that Leo is really very insecure, and the mirror is so they can check their behavior and how it compares to others. So there's sort of an irony with Leo energy that they can come off very confident and bold and, in the middle of the stage, but inside can be very extremely insecure. And I always thought that was kind of an interesting analogy for the reference to mirror. Um, so we've got personal planets of Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars all leaving the sign of Capricorn, and as of today, are firmly into Aquarius. So that's also a very different shift of energy, going from an Earth Capricornian kind of energy with the personal planets that's very, you know, grounded, disciplined, uh, practical, work kind of energy. Aquarian, being an air energy, is more ethereal. There's certainly a very otherworldliness to Aquarius. It rules the uh, outer space, any kinds of mythology on aliens and UFOs. It represents the internet and social media, and now big thing on the horizon, artificial intelligence. So we certainly are feeling also how Pluto left Capricorn a few weeks ago, and we are with Pluto in Aquarius. So each of these personal planets over the next several weeks will be making um, aspects to Pluto. And what does Pluto do? It reinvents, it tears down, it rebuilds, it regenerates. So, you know, Leo has a lot to do. The sun is, set to be our ego, how we perceive the world sees us. And the moon is our emotional body. And a full moon is the sun and moon opposite each other. So you might be feeling on a personal level some kind of urge to reinvent yourself, or reinvent how you do your business, or reinvent something that you've done one way a long time, and you're getting creative ideas about how to do it differently or do something different. So I think all in all, the consistent messages about this this configuration in February is um, create, create, create. Kind of unleash your inner rock and roll star or something like that. If there's been something you've been contemplating but not making any decisions about, this is a really good time to uh, make a list and follow your intuition. Leo is about the truth. It's about following your heart as opposed to the monkey mind. So that, is what gives people, all of us, a lot of conflict at different times, is um, our head says one thing and our heart says another, and that constant philosophy of, do you follow your head or your heart? Well, in this energy would follow your heart. And so when you see, we have here Pluto, Mars, Sun, Venus, and Mercury all in the sixth house in the sign of Aquarius. So when you have three or more planets in one sign, it's called a stellium. And a stellium intensifies everything about that particular sign, which in this case, Aquarius, is ruled by Uranus. Uranus is getting ready to station direct. So I would anticipate a lot of secrets coming forward. You'll hear a lot of war drums with Mars there. Money and financial markets chaotic. Bitcoin right now is tanking. Gold and silver is going to, outer space. And there's a real nervousness about this kind of energy. And in the sixth house, that is where we find our health. It's where we find the work that we do, not where we do it, but like your vocation. So this might be sudden promotions, sudden changes. It's definitely a good time to make efforts towards evolving what you do for your work. That's what Aquarius ultimately is about, the revolutionary and evolution of humanity. This would probably bring more attention to humanitarian endeavors. Um, you might see more attention to things like blood drives, food pantries, anything that helps the community as a whole. You might find yourself volunteering where you haven't done that before. Um, so then when you look at the seventh house, you've got the North Node, part of fortune, and Saturn all in Pisces. And, the part of fortune and North Node together, these are like faded kinds of patterns. These are in Pisces, spiritual awakenings. This makes me feel like there's a segment of society that maybe has marched to a storyline that has been manipulated, and with Uranus stationing direct and this representing spiritual awakening, you could see people kind of throwing off the cloak of blindness, like seeing things for how they really are, um, breaking their patterns. Um, One of these things that I have a lot of interest in is government agencies like the IRS, the CIA, Homeland Security, these federal agencies that expanded the arm of the government or big brother into our living rooms, right? So there's been a lot of talk about getting rid of income tax, getting rid of, some states have already gotten rid of property tax, and this push towards evolving and revolting against taxation without representation. So I've been doing a lot of studying of the law of how the Internal Revenue Service came to be, along with the Federal Reserve. There are people on the ground in DC that say that the IRS office is actually boarded up.
Are we going to take a little field trip after
Yeah,
snow?
I tell you, something strange is going on. What I would say here is, read. So if you read the small print on a tax return where you're supposed to sign it, this was established to be voluntary. And, the IRS will scare the bejeebers out of you. And I'm not saying there haven't been huge criminal cases, but for the average person, which I'm coining the phrase debt slaves, we've kind of gotten wrangled into a system where we can never really bust out of it. They keep us down, so to speak. And this kind of energy, I think, will help awaken people to question, where does your hard-earned money go? Mm-hmm. What is truly your obligation? And if I'm supposed to be accountable for my money, then I expect the government to be accountable for their money. And the government and their money is a complete uh, joke. So I think a lot of this will have to do with people waking up, questioning uh, what maybe we've been told that has kept us manipulated and under the boot of tyranny. And that there, there's a lot of information out there, especially if you read the UCC code. I don't have them with me. Um, there's a really interesting book. Let's see if I can pull it up on my phone. It's actually a set of 3 little paperback books. You can get them on Amazon. And one of them is called Meet Your Straw Man. And so, what it's about is how our birth certificate has been traded on the New York Stock Exchange. So, there's like a straw man account in our name, and then there's us. And so, let me just your straw man. Meet Your Straw Man book. And whatever you want to know, it's by David E. Robinson. It's $5.50. The other one is called The UCC Connection, How to Free Yourself from Legal Tyranny. And then the third one is Common Law Handbook for Jurors, Sheriffs, Bailiffs, and Justices. These are all $5 little paperback books that that explain how we've been manipulated into this system. So with gold and silver going up to the ethers in price and the US dollar tanking, something's being set up to reset. And this is the perfect energy for any kind of reinvention, financial markets changing. And the last thing you want to do is fear this, because it's all been predicated on a false pretense and fraud to begin with. So, I'm trying to cheer it on with open ears and eyes. I try to read what I can about the actual laws and not what mainstream media tries to tell us, or read for yourself is what is a good way to spend this energy, because Pluto in Aquarius is there until the year 2044. It's about lifting humanity up. It's about really leveling the playing fields, which we've not been on a level playing field really since the Federal Reserve was created. If you go back to the Civil War in American history in 1871, the colonies were broke and they reached out to the Bank of London, and basically, I don't know how many people in America know this or not, but our government pays the Bank of London hefty interest every month. So we're really still beholden to some sort of monarchy, or again, this is all the kind of secrets and mysteries I think are trying to leak out. It's been like drip, 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 but it seems to be escalating more and more, with all the different scandals that you see coming forward. So we're living exactly what this configuration looks like, in that we've got an Aquarian stellium, we've got a Pisces stellium. We have Uranus going direct tomorrow. And these are all very, this is great for, disruption of the financial markets, as well as disruption of weather patterns. before we came on tonight, we were talking about, some of the weather going on is like the first we've seen. I know in my lifetime, I've lived in Virginia my whole life. I've never had more than a few days of freezing temperature, and we're into the second week of it. Um, so there's also information out there that's kind of interesting about the polar shifts. And let's see, I'm not sure if I can find this man's name or not. Let's see if I can find his name. He does a lot of research about the shifting of the polar axis. And that is one explanation for the changes in weather patterns for different areas of the globe. So let's see. I just watched this recently. So this has been happening for decades, very, very slowly, but we are seeing it start to really show its difference, in that places that don't normally get frigid, like the beach area, the East Coast, experiencing patterns that are unusual. And it has to do with the magnetic pole moving and shifting. And so that would be another area that is very Aquarian, and has to do with what you're experiencing on a electromagnetic way, because we are standing on the earth, and if it's shifting, it's only natural that we would respond to that. So if you've been feeling kind of nervous or unsteady or just different, you're not going crazy, and it's completely normal that you would feel some changes. And so all of this goes on many levels, right? Your physicality of your body, your mentality of your thoughts and mind, and then spirituality. What are your beliefs? What do you believe in? What do you believe is happening to humanity as a whole? So very, historic times that we're in. And none of us alive today have lived through these astrological patterns. So we're kind of, pioneering how we are going to manifest. So I would just say, with the Leo full moon, it really is about your heart, searching your heart for what is your truth. Using your intuition. If something hits your ears that you're hearing reported and it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. So there's really no one for any of us to turn to but ourselves, and our own intuition and looking inward. When we look at when we get outside of these stelliums, and we, kind of look at what else is going on, anytime you have oppositions is when you have things happening. So we have the Mercury and Venus opposing the moon. Mercury, Venus opposing the moon. So those are your masculine and feminine energies within your emotional body coming to some kind of compromise, right? So oppositions are usually when chapters happen in our life. For the personal planets, that could mean, your inheritance from a long lost uncle you never knew you had, or if you buy lottery tickets, a sudden win that you didn't expect. Oppositions can represent chronic health problems.
Can I
So,
can I ask you a question real quick?
sure.
Um, like if you plug in like you're looking for oppositions and stuff,
Yes.
like is there anything in your software where it just lists like all the different oppositions that could happen from now into the future or even look backwards to see what those oppositions were? Just to kind of map out like what are the things that happened in the past and also what the potentials could be around a certain period of time. Is that like how
I'm
it
not
works?
sure if I quite understand what you're asking, but on each chart, or is this chart, which is showing you what's opposing what, or
Mm-hmm.
what's conjuncting what, you can certainly look in the past for, say, you had something like a marriage or a divorce or birth of a baby in your past, and you go to that date, you would probably find some sort of opposition in your chart.
Mm-hmm.
And you can look forward to when things are getting ready to oppose each other. I'm kind of the old fashioned type where I'm sure the software will do it, but I always use the ephemeris.
Oh, okay.
It's just easier to flip through here and see this. These are the charts of where everything is every day. Um,
Mm-hmm.
this is a 50-year one. So, um, to answer your question, yes. And that's how we've done a lot of research in the past to find historic patterns like, when was the last time um, uh, planets were opposite each other or conjunct each other. You can follow some of the historic events. Um, and some of what we've been through in the last year resemble that historic event of 1871 with banking.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that we are um, watching and anticipating some sort of financial reset or reevaluation um, is a pattern repeating itself. None of us are old enough to remember that ever happening, but in astrology, you can follow those patterns and look in history about. The tricky part about that I'm learning is we haven't always been told the truth about history, right? It's been a convenience towards, who's in power. And like what comes to my mind is the story of the Titanic, right? Um, and the funny thing about conspiracy theories is quite often they're proven to be true. They're not just a theory. But one of the conspiracy theories about the Titanic sinking, there's a few. Number one, that it was actually a sister ship, it was not the Titanic. That three of the four wealthiest bankers at the time were on that ship. The
Mm-hmm.
fourth one, at the last minute, did not get on the ship. I can't remember if his last name was Rockefeller or one of the wealthiest families. But anyway, that it was torpedoed and intentionally sunk because
Mm-hmm.
those three bankers were ready to reset the valuation, which
Mm-hmm.
would have leveled the playing field for classes of people and not just had this select 1% of the elite with all the wealth in the world and the rest of us worker bees um, you know, not having those same equal opportunities. Don't
Mm-hmm.
know if it's true. There's a
Well, I
lot of
think
study.
wealth distribution is different now. There's more and more people who um, are becoming more wealthy. Um, even people who don't have the means or the background, but through, education or anything like that, or just being in the right place in the right time.
It's
So,
definitely Aquarian energy is more entrepreneurial.
mhm,
So there was just a huge Tyson's chicken factory shut down. Um, Trying to remember what state that was in, but the town is anticipating 3,000 unemployed people.
mhm,
And so that will force people to get on the move to find work. And this is not new. I mean, generations and generations of people have always tried to move to find work, right?
mhm,
So that's not necessarily new. But when I saw that, what I felt very strongly was people will come up with entrepreneurial pursuits. And
mhm,
certainly with AI and the internet and the way business has changed over, well, since the mid 90s with the internet, um, people have more opportunity to reach larger markets to sell their widgets um, or create a niche that they see is needed, and it can be very obscure things, so definitely, you know, the opportunities are there, and it's just really important that people stay positive and not be downtrodden by um, the tell lie vision, right? The
mhm,
mainstream media feeding you a story that keeps you feeling uh, anxious or, nervous or worried. These are definitely the times when your dreams can be made into reality. That is the Neptune Saturn conjunction.
mhm,
Your your earthbound dreams can manifest in the ethers or fantasy state of Neptune.
mhm,
So, anybody that you've ever talked to or read a biography of who was like a rags to riches story, the message is always the same. They never give up. You have a
mhm,
belief in something and your heart feels it's true, you never give up. And Leo has that sort of stubborn determination that makes you, it's a fixed energy. Aquarius is a fixed energy, so that gives you that sort of stick to itedness that, maybe you pursue one outlet to get something completed in your project and it shuts down and you're forced to find another source or another outlet. And as
mhm.
long as you believe in what you're doing, it will always manifest. I think that's what's so wonderful about these times and awakenings is people feeling more belief in themselves and belief in their dreams and belief in manifestation. And I just feel
Well, I
like
think
it's,
it's like the Aquarian age, so to
yeah.
speak, like the vibe, and now that we have like this technology that's introduced to us, like it seems like the possibility is limitless as to what you can do. But then it becomes a rat race, you know, because whoever is the first one to figure out, X, Y, and Z, then they would be the one to benefit the most. Um, Definitely have to be kind of on top of your game if you're like into the tech industry.
Oh, it's
Um,
always changing.
yeah, it's changing by the minute.
So there's two really positive trines for people to be aware of over the next few weeks. And this is Pluto trining Uranus. Pluto trine Uranus is what can make that idea or dream or something stuck. Trines are gifts from the universe. This is when things come easy to us. Then we
Mhm.
also have the North Node right here trining Jupiter. And Jupiter is all about expansion and good luck and opportunities. So these are two really powerful trines that even if you did a meditation on Pluto trine Uranus and North Node trine Jupiter, I might just have to do that. But I think that if you were to go into a meditation with whatever your desired uh, result or dream or thing it is that you're wanting, um, and you just meditate on those two trines, I'd find it hard to believe that you wouldn't see in the next few days some positive gift that leads you to that goal, if not
Mhm.
reaching the goal itself. That's very powerful right there. Jupiter, the North Node is all about your fated, what you're here to do, what's your gift, what are you fated to do. And
Mhm.
that's another
Mhm.
thing that I see happening and have for a few years with spiritual awakening is people even awakening to the fact that they're here for a reason to do something, that we're not just on a conveyor belt of, you know,
Next.
eat, sleep, work, whatever. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, really positive energy there. And let's see, we've got a Capricorn Valentine's Day.
Oh, okay. Sounds romantic.
So February 17th is a solar eclipse with a new moon in Aquarius. That's a big day. It's also Mardi Gras, Ramadan begins, the Lunar New Year. So February 17th is a big day. And
Mm.
in Aquarius. So, here we are in a Leo full moon. Something, I have a binder clip dropping here. Um, we're in a Leo full moon and working our way into an Aquarian eclipse. The Leo Aquarius axis, no matter what your sun sign is, you always pull in what your opposite is. So we're talking about a Leo full moon, but it has very heavy Aquarian kind of stellium and energy to it. And that gives it that phenomenal kind of people evolving, humanity evolving. Um, this is where inventions and patents are um, brought into reality. Certainly, I think a huge part of this is artificial intelligence. And with Pluto and Aquarius, Pluto is going to bring up the whole morality of artificial intelligence and the debate that we'll have as a society about, is it good or bad? And you hear these commentaries prefaced with, well, in the right hands and for the right things, it's good, but there's also, really dark side to it as well. Um,
I think
Scammers.
there should be a law um for misuse of AI of some sort. Like there needs to be a
Well,
bill that's passed for that.
I think that there are laws on the books that just don't get enforced, like for fraud, but
Mhm.
scammers have become so sophisticated and
Oh, yeah, I've seen those emails.
and you just have to question everything. One of my neighbors is taking care of a friend of hers who we're really not sure to what degree her mental state is medical or what it is. She is older and been on oxygen. And sometimes when you're oxygen deprived, your your brain, you don't talk right, you don't act right. So she's had some physical challenges that way, but I want to say it's been 2 or 3 years, and it started through Facebook, and she is just now, and she's in the hospital. She went to the hospital and was in rehab. So it took a chronic medical event for her to finally question that maybe what she's thought was real was a scam. And that was through Facebook. She thought she was talking to Mark Harmon, the actor.
Mm. Mhm.
And she has sent tons of money to this person who's preying on her emotions for this actor
Mhm.
with one excuse after another about, you know, his wife has his assets tied up and he needs money to travel here and he's going to, get divorced, come to her. Just really, it's some sort of romance scam.
Mhm.
Then she started saying she was talking to the rest of the cast. And my friend has been trying to beat through this lady's head that that is a scam and stop sending her money. And all we know is she was found in the floor. She collapsed and was in the floor a couple of days before someone found her. And she had some sort of heart event or something. And now she's in rehab. And so she's had some outside intervention with um, doctors, and with her in the hospital, my friend has been able to get her home more cleaned up and appropriate for her to be able to come home.
Mhm.
And and she's lost a lot of money. I mean, where she was going into retirement comfortably, she is not anymore. And it's all from this sort of romance scam through Facebook. So, I think that's just the very tip of the iceberg of the extent of things going on out there, and that would be the dark side of AI, and certainly they, you know, look to use AI medically to keep people healthy or out of a health crisis. That's positive. So, it's like everything in our world. There's a negative and a positive, and we have to focus on creating the positive and not letting the negative get us into any kind of fear. Uh,
Well, I
fear.
think, like, if it was on Facebook, and Facebook does not do a good job of, like, security,
Yeah.
and also, like, because I lost my Facebook account, like, the one I've had for many, many years, and due to a hacker, and I can't get through anyone at Facebook. Like, all of my baby pictures are on there, like, my grandma is on there, like, stuff that I can't recover because I kept it purposely on Facebook because I knew it'd always be there, and then to have that taken away, you know, um, it really sucks. So I think that, like, these big companies that are always trying to be bigger and they have, like, their investments into their newer technologies, well, if they have something that they've built, like, they need to maintain that, just to kinda keep who they have happy, you know, um, to stay on their stuff. So, yeah, that's it. It's just
And it's
it
good and
really
bad.
yeah,
I
there's
think
good
our
and bad.
job
Mm.
I think our job spiritually is, to stay positive and influence other people to stay positive, because nothing is gained by, you know, the fear vibration. There's nothing gained by worry and fear at all. And I don't know, somewhere or another in my feed, I keep getting these feeds from people that are like centurions. They're like 100, 101. One lady's like 107, and they're being interviewed for, what's your advice for how you've lived such a long life. And consistently they all say that they wished, people would not worry so much, that you worry your life away, and there's
Hmm.
very little that won't evolve or change in time. I know when we're in a bad place, it seems like time doesn't move and it's never going to be better, but it does. I mean, the only thing permanent is change. And the more that we learn how to go with the flow of change, I think the happier we can be. And learn how to say no. Learn how to say no to the bully and the tyrant, and
Hmm.
educate ourselves about, what are our sovereign rights as a human being. What scares me about social media is the influence of communist countries, right? It's how they keep an eye on people, it's how they regulate what people can do. And there's this huge lawsuit with TikTok, right? Not being able to be owned by China. And they're negotiating some deal where it's going to be bought by somebody else. And I'm sure if you followed that rabbit down the hole, then China would have a big chunk of that interest too. So
Hmm.
the thing that, you know, awakens people and humanity is that, we're born free and we're born with basic human rights of civility, and nothing, no government, nothing can deprive us of that. But we get so sucked into the pattern, work, pay bills, work, pay bills, work, pay taxes, work, pay it, it just takes some kind of extra boost to be able to sort of get our head up out of the matrix to see what a manipulation it has been. And that's part of what I think all of the Iranian kind of internet and electronic highway energy is about, is disconnect from the matrix. And certainly big storms like part of the country have had with, if you're off grid and trying to heat with solar power or all these alternative ways to live without being connected to some big grid, that's very challenging. I mean, they are the pioneers. And
Hmm.
April is the Aries time of year. So, it might be interesting to see where we are once these planets get into Aries, because that is the pioneer. And I do think that there are great, fascinating opportunities for people to evolve to, if they have lost a job or family, or you know part of going through something horrible is, to teach us our resilience and learning from what we've been through so that we can be better prepared down the road. So there's a purpose for the hardships, and but we just don't want to sit and take it. We want to, you know put that put those notes in our pocket and remember and look for the signs so that we don't go down the same pattern. Hey, Tommy, he's a pretty boy.
He was rubbing his face on the microphone.
He has something to say.
Yeah, he's
What do you have to
hungry.
say?
That's what
Well,
it is.
so let's pull some cards for the Leo full moon.
Oh, yeah, that's it. He's Leo, Mr.
He is a
Leo.
Leo. I've got the Gilded Tarot.
Um, and then I have the Vin des Cycle Kipper.
Do we want to take down the chart so we can see the cards better?
Yeah. Let's see here. There we go. And then our okay.
So Aries is also a fire sign. So anything Leo would be trining Aries, sun, moon, ascendant, and that's again very gifted.
Mm-hmm.
Right off the bat, Aries would be having fortunate things with a Leo full moon. And just as I said that, that's funny. I got the Ten of Wands and the Ten of Swords.
Oh my God.
So
Well, I
that's
mean,
not so great for Aries.
I have Sun and Wealth.
Oh,
So,
so maybe some hard work is paying off for Aries.
well, this is what I'm thinking. Like maybe the money came in, but it came with a burden.
Oh,
It
right.
was easy to
A,
get.
a lot of hands out wanting loans and things.
Mm-hmm. So that's actually kind of hard. So it's like easy come, easy go.
Right. But being grateful for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's another key word to keep in mind is great gratitude. Even if
Yeah.
things aren't the way you want them.
Mm-hmm.
So, Taurus, Uranus is in Taurus right now. So they might be going through some changes.
Oh, I have here a mature man.
And the Emperor, wow.
Mm-hmm. So definitely some change. Could be world travel. Could be learning something to make some sort of change. Um,
I'm getting education too. Maybe taking on a new area to study or
well, what reminded me was that remember you're talking about 18, like some that time in the 1800s.
1871.
Yes, that one. That's what it reminded me of.
So if you wanted to look that up, it's actually called the Act of 1871. And,
Okay.
a lot of people would say that's when we were sold out.
Yeah. So, and then all the research, all of the data is like behind him.
Yeah. And he's got the globe there.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I know.
Every time I start feeling a little edgy or nervous, I just try and remind myself this is all very fascinating. Something will reveal itself. Pluto in Aquarius is about secrets coming out.
Mm. Mm.
And let's see, for Gemini, I got the Two of Cups.
Okay, I have courtship, so
Courtship.
Gemini. They're dating.
So, Leo can be very romantic, a romantic full moon.
Mm-hmm. Could be going out on a date or proposing or
Sharing emotions.
mm-hmm.
So in
Or
my card, it looks like a new moon. So maybe by the new moon, there'd be some kind of proposal for some Gemini.
well, that's Valentine's,
It
right?
is.
Oh, well, Gemini. Ooh la la. Hmm. So next we have Cancer.
Oh, I got their ruling sign, the moon.
And I have occupation.
I get a big mother vibe from all of this.
Mm-hmm. Making blankets. It's cold out.
Yeah. Fixing up hot water bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Something like homey and nurturing and very motherly about this.
It reminds me of that time, remember when we had COVID and everyone with a sewing machine was making masks?
Oh, yeah, it was driving me nuts. It was driving me nuts. I was really getting upset with people in those damn masks. And whoever manufactures plexiglass. Somebody made a ton of money on plexiglass.
Yeah. Toilet
I
tissue.
mean, that was just a prime example where our common sense had just been drowned out by a narrative of ridiculousness. They're trying to do that again, you know. They're trying to bring out another.
A virus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I seen it. I think this time it was bats again. Like it
I
wasn't bats the
mean,
first time, but now they're trying to do it as bats again. Right.
what does Judge Judy always say? If it doesn't make sense, it's not true. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's a good little adage to go by. Leo and a Leo full moon. So I'm Leo. I can say I've been a little busy.
Mm-hmm.
I see 7 of Pentacles.
Okay, I have the house.
Hmm. So
No,
I
it's
know
been.
this house is costing a small fortune to heat right now.
Mm-hmm.
7 of Pentacles.
Maybe being in a house for a while, thinking about relocation.
What is this girl doing? She's got her a basket
Mm-hmm. Collecting her pentacles.
collecting her pentacles.
Mm-hmm. Cashing in on that house. No,
Action on the house. Interesting.
mm-hmm. Hmm. Let's see. Next, we have Virgo. Oh,
We've got the 2 of Swords.
okay, and I have great fortune. So stressed for not knowing about where the money's coming through. I know that's true for me.
A lot of intellectual energy to get the great fortune.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the
Maybe
internet.
coming from a couple of different directions.
Mm-hmm. Um, for me, it's like not knowing where things are coming in from because of situational things. So, yeah, I guess so. I guess that's it.
But it's coming. That's the point.
It is, but hello. It needs to come now. Like,
Right.
oh, okay. So I have the mature man again for Libra.
I have the Knight of Swords. So maybe this is like a father son
Oh,
venture.
coming in quickly to say something, perhaps. like being mature, but not.
Having a midlife crisis.
Mm-hmm. Wanting to cut somebody's head off, but they're trying to be a big person about it. So it could be travel too. I see that the knight is traveling really quickly.
Yeah.
So it could be through plane, train, car, horse.
Seems like a venture with a father and son is what I keep hearing.
Mm.
Or
And
Libra.
it could be a discussion between father and son.
Yeah.
Like the son is quick to talk, but the
Like
father is being mature.
my Libra friend who doesn't have children, but she has a nephew and brother in law that have recently been um, traveling to get together. The nephew is in transit for his work, and the father's been helping him move. So it could be like that, and some other relatives, not just like a father and son, but like
Like
nephew and
like an older and a younger.
uncle, yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
big brother, little brother, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
Scorpio's been quiet lately. Oh,
Yeah, I see the coffin.
got the Eight of Swords.
Hmm. Okay, stressed about dying. The
Yeah,
Scorpio.
well, we know they're fascinated with dying.
Mhm. Hmm.
A lot of mental energy there.
I mean, if it's not a physical death, maybe it's just ending something, right? Like
Well, the
because this,
regeneration element of Scorpio.
yeah. And I
Some,
see here there's a flower. Do you know like there's like this history thing about like the rose in
yeah,
windows and
the
stuff?
white rose.
Mhm. So that could be a thing.
There's a symbology about that.
I just can't really think of like what because I seen it or read something about it.
So, white roses symbolize purity, innocence, and new beginnings, making them popular for weddings and christenings. They also represent remembrance, reverence, and sympathy at funerals, as well as eternal love, loyalty, and honor in relationships, signifying a fresh start or deep respect. They
Hmm.
convey sincerity and fresh starts, fitting for celebrations like new jobs or births, while also offering comfort and quiet respect in times of grief.
So it could be good or bad depending on the situation.
Which are, yeah,
Well, it sounds like it's right up Scorpio's alley.
yeah, we're used to extremes.
Yeah. Expect
We had a really long time funeral home burned down recently. I mean, it had been in the family like 35 years, and nobody nobody died, and there were no bodies there.
mhm.
And they say they're going to rebuild, but that was a big community thing recently around here. A funeral home burning down.
You know what? I've seen that a few times back in North Carolina. I think they do it on purpose though.
They did say that it was being investigated and suspected an electrical issue. It was a
Mhm.
really, really old, old building.
They probably needed it redone, but to be honest, like, I had a friend in school, and his family owned um, a cemetery, and he was like, he was raised to caretake the lands, like, he was the lawnmower boy,
Yeah,
so he was the one who was, like, trimming and doing, like, the grass and stuff, and he told me that they make a lot of money, doing the upkeep of the cemeteries and stuff, and it's like a easy job, but I think that the whole funeral services part is a little different.
I had a
I don't know.
friend go to work for a funeral home one time. She was selling burial plots,
Yes.
and she said that people would be mortified if they realized how close together people were buried, you
Yeah,
know,
they're, like, next to each other.
like an inch apart. Yeah,
Yeah, like, not even, like, there's some
yeah.
dust and, like
You're like, yeah, it's not what people think.
No. Mm-mm. No, because I noticed that too, um, where my grandma was, buried. I was like, "Isn't that a little?" It looks like it's a little further apart, but not really, because the person next to her is just right there, and we're always, like, stepping on their plot,
Yeah,
It's like, where do we stand?
right.
But, yeah, the truth is that I think every square inch
Yeah.
is taking up space, so, yeah.
There was a scandal south of here, an old funeral home, and what was that story? They found a bunch of bodies that had not been given proper burials, like just out in the woods.
Out in the woods.
And it was like a way for the people who ran the place, they could like double dip on coffins, like they'd sell the same
Oh,
coffin
yeah,
over and
like,
over.
'cause it's brand new.
It was really bad. It was really bad. And it was in a really rural area where, you know, people knew each other and the family that ran the funeral home. It was like, you know, everybody was mortified of what they'd been doing, and it was not good.
Yeah,
Not
the
good.
townspeople will come and burn their house down, that's what that happened. That's
Yeah,
how that
you're right. You're right. Oh,
"Let's get
that.
'em," with pitchforks and shovels and stuff, and we'll take care of you.
I mean, that's an example of where they grab you with a headline and tell you a story, but then you never hear the end. What happened? I should look that up. It was years ago. Yeah, I'm sure they got sued out of the orbit, right?
Mhm. Well, or took whatever that they could liquidate, through an
Right.
auction of some sort, because I don't know if there's any surviving family members after that. You know, especially out in the woods, you know.
Why wouldn't you cremate people? You know, I mean,
I think the old generation, they're used to, like, burying the whole body in a box.
yeah.
And I was discussing it with my mama. I said, "Well, I want to be cremated.
Was
Just
she
put me in
okay
the
with it?
jar." Yeah, she was like, "Okay, well, we still need some a land just to put the jar in, or or one of those crematories where you have the little thingy." But my grandma, this is the whole okay. So my parents are here, and then we need to talk about the will, and I was like, "Okay, well," and then my brother wants to live. He's decided to stay here in Arizona, but my mom loves North Carolina. And we keep talking about where my grandma is, which is in North Carolina. And so my mom keeps thinking, well, let's dig her up, and bring her over here. And my brother's like, no, you don't do that. Like, he's like weirded out by moving her body and stuff.
Right.
And I'm thinking, like, leave that poor lady alone. Like, that's the
Right.
last thing that she wants is having her dead body, like, where the saying over my dead body. Well, yeah, that's
Right. Right.
literally what's going on. And then my uncle, he's still living in North Carolina. He's the one that's actually taking care of the cemetery, the grave. And so, yeah. So there's that whole thing. Like, where are we gonna, you know, settle down with the plot of land? Because my mama wants everybody kind of together. And then I don't know. I mean, I don't see any sense of having a casket and preserving my whole body and until it rots into dust. Like, just once you're gone, you're gone. Like,
I'm with you. Everyone in my family's been cremated with their ashes taken to the ocean, and that's pretty much it.
so is
But I
you
will
want to
tell you, I have two old best friends that were buried, and I do think about going to visit their cemetery. And like Miller, my neighbor, where he got buried, and I thought
mm-hmm.
about going, but I don't. I mean, because really, you can talk to him right here and right now. Right? It's not like you need a place to go talk to them. I mean, but
Right.
to some people, that's very important. Um, I don't know. It's
Some people still need like the visual go
right. So my
to
aunt got really upset with me for 2 years when my mother was cremated because she
mhm,
wanted her to be taken back to a family graveyard on the side of a mountain in God's country. And my mother
mm.
told me, don't ever take me back there. I'll haunt you forever. I want my
She made
ashes taken to
sure.
the ocean. So, I'm like to my aunt, her sister, I'm like, look, I was loyal to my mother. I did what she wanted me to do. And my
Mhm.
aunt was crappy to me for like 2 years. I'd call her and she'd act like she didn't want to talk. And then one of my calls, I was talking to her and she goes, she was getting up in age and thinking about, her funeral or stuff. And she says, yeah, I think I'm going to be cremated. And I just like went off on her. I was like, Dory, you didn't talk to me for years because I had my mother cremated. She goes, well, I changed my mind. Now, she had moved up to Vermont to live with her son and his wife for the end
Mm.
of her life. So they may have influenced that some. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't
Well,
know.
I think it's more economical. Like, nobody wants the extra burden of the upkeep of a cemetery and stuff like that, and plus the casket cost, and
Oh
you know
yeah, it's an industry for sure,
it is.
and it's
My
really
grandma.
weird.
Yeah.
It's really weird how like you can have a cemetery and wonder like don't they run out of plots? How do they not run out of plots? And that's because I think they're cramming them in there.
Like the stacking them
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
Well, that's how they do it on the military bases, I believe, like in Arlington and stuff like
yeah.
that. Like the spouse gets to be buried with the husband and stuff. Um, and I think they do it in other military plots because my ex sister in law, her mama had passed, and she's buried with her husband, so they're on top of each other like that.
I don't want to be buried. I just don't want to be buried.
Hmm.
That just seems so dark.
So
So
dark.
yeah, keep me above ground.
Yeah. No, no. I mean that makes sense to me too. Yeah. I mean it sounds morbid, but yeah.
Well, I guess it goes back through history, if we really searched back. That'd be an interesting research project to go through the different cultures and how burial rituals were done. And, the Egyptians, didn't they they put all kinds of things in the tomb for them to travel with to the afterlife? And,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well,
But
I
we're
know.
very Scorpions, so we're fascinated with death and dying.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, it's easy for us to talk about it. Like I know, like in my dad's island, he's Guamanian, and they bury the caskets above ground. So
Oh,
instead of going under, it's up.
like in mausoleum type things?
Kind of, yeah. But I was like, well, why? It didn't make sense. But I think it's because he said the typhoon or something, and then
Oh, right.
like, and then there would be floating bodies and stuff.
Well, that happened in North Carolina with this flood last year,
What?
where there were coffins going down the river
No way! I didn't hear about that.
outside of Asheville, and I forget what other areas. Yeah, it was horrible.
Hmm.
They're still going through it there. It's just
Yeah.
horrible.
Uh, anyhow, well, I have this for Sag.
Three of Pentacles is what I got.
Oh, and I have the false person.
Oh,
Maybe Sag, maybe you're not being honest about working on something. Working on a relationship, or working on breaking up with somebody.
false person. Hmm.
You see this? It just looks like shady. It's like somebody's hiding. Like they know that they're looking.
Could this be a love triangle?
I think so. It feels like it. Like there's a third party somewhere. We don't see the third party, but somebody's not being honest about the other person. Maybe it's
Money involved.
yeah, I see here SMNC.
Maybe that's initials.
Yeah, it's like in do you see
Uh,
that? NC looks like SM. It's like in here.
like in flames or something. Interesting.
Yeah. All right, Sag, don't be naughty.
Yeah,
All right.
they get
The
bored
next-
easy.
yeah, that's why they need another person in their life. You know, Ethan is a Sag, and once he's familiar with a person, he's on to the next. And not in a romantic way, but just like people wise. It's like
Right.
once he's got enough of one person, then he's on to the next person. And it doesn't matter. It's just because he gets bored, I think.
Well, it's said that they don't like anything trending, like or fads. Like they like to be unique and seek out
Hmm.
that uniqueness.
Yeah.
So Capricorn, I have Four of Cups.
Okay. And I have thoughts.
So some contemplating going on here.
Thinking about someone making an offer or not, missed opportunity. Maybe this is what
In
it is.
this card, he is looking up at the hand, whereas other cards, they're not.
Mm-hmm. Like the Three of Cups is kind of behind him, and he's looking at that one cup.
Yeah, that's sort of different.
Mm-hmm. Capricorn, you looking at someone, the apple of your eye.
Divine intervention.
Mm-hmm. I see her. Also, right here, there's initials. I think that's a CM, if that means anything to someone.
Seeing those paintbrushes in the portrait, I had this thing that came to my mind. I don't know. I don't know why a Leo full moon. Well, the Aquarian energy, I guess. I'm into conspiracy theories tonight. You know that painter on public TV named Bob Ross?
Yes. Yeah,
So
who
do you
doesn't
know
know?
that one of the conspiracy theories about him is he was a serial killer and was painting the places where he buried bodies? Have you ever heard that? I'd
What
love
the
to know if
hell?
that's true.
There is no way. He is just too,
Oh, yeah,
like
right.
I just can't see it. It's like one of
So
those.
was who was the guy? Who, who was the guy? Oh gosh, he would fake a broken arm, drove a Volkswagen. Oh gosh, who was that guy? Who was that guy? He was very charming. Look at how many he killed. Serial killer
uh,
in Volkswagen.
it's like true crimes.
Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy. Oh
Yeah,
my
he
god.
drove a 1968 Volkswagen Beetle. Let's see. How many did he kill? Uh, let's see. 36 murders.
Wow, that's a lot.
He was arrested on August 15th, 1975.
Hmm.
His Volkswagen is actually on display.
On display.
The National Museum. Yeah, that's how he would lure women is let's see.
His beetle. Hey baby, want to go for a ride?
He'd have a broken arm and he'd be trying to like get something in the car and get some girl to help him and then bash her over the head and throw her in the car. He didn't have a seat, a passenger seat in the car.
Mm-hmm.
So why did I think of him to so what was making me think of the serial killer? Oh, the
Brushes.
paintbrushes, Bob Ross.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it went from Bob Ross and then it went to Ted
Ted
Bundy.
Bundy. Oh, because he's charming, right? We were talking about, oh, there's no
Yeah, yeah,
way.
because you
Well,
wouldn't
Ted
think
Bundy
that.
was like a real charmer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 36 dead people later. And then now I've noticed I caught a couple of times there's a new Bob Ross. There's another guy doing the same kind of painting on public TV.
That looks like him.
No, he doesn't have the, no, yeah, but he's doing the same kind of
Paint.
show.
Oh,
I'd love to know if that's true or not or how that got started. I don't know.
then you know how people like to spread gossip and stuff. Like
Yeah,
once there's a leak, and then it's all out there on the internet and stuff. So I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Aquarius,
Mm-hmm.
Age of Swords. And you've got
Occupation.
occupation.
Mhm.
Wow.
Maybe thinking about a new job.
It's definitely the energy for new jobs and
maybe a new direction, like a new career path of some sort.
He seems pretty comfortable holding his sword down as opposed to up.
Mhm.
She
Or
looks
maybe
pretty comfortable. She's at a
mhm.
sewing machine.
Yeah, that's just being creative. Yeah.
I like it. Aquarius.
So maybe Aquarius is up to something new,
Yeah.
like a new work path.
Creative and intellectual.
Mhm. That's good.
Very good. Yeah.
All right. So now,
That Pluto trine to Uranus, it could be very expansive and unexpected.
hmm. Oh, okay. I got two cards for Pisces.
All right. Oh, I have the lovers.
Wow. That's not good. Imprisonment and unexpected income.
Wow. Pisces. Pisces is getting their freak on.
Yeah. Like maybe there's unexpected stuff coming through, but then it's like
Gotcha.
entrapment. You're mine now.
Never mind now. Unexpected income.
Mm-hmm.
Careful what we ask for is what comes to my mind.
Mm-hmm. Like maybe like, to get this, it comes with a price. And I see here there's a ring on this person's finger, so maybe they're married.
And have a lover on the side because the lovers card often is about a three
Threesome.
person relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe
So
Pisces is entrapped and
a
has a
marriage.
wandering eye.
They're stuck in a marriage, but they're doing it for money, but then they have the love thing on the side.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't have cable, so
Mm-hmm.
I get very basic channels. And the
Mm-hmm.
channel that comes through the best is Court TV. So I watch
Not
all
Law
of
and
these
Order.
weird cases all over the country. I think this one is, it's Virginia. Virginia versus Banfield. Let me tell you, talk about talk about weird love triangles. Virginia versus Banfield. So the guy Banfield is being accused of conspiring to murder his wife. This is just too bizarre, but I swear to God, if you look it up, here's the case.
Okay.
Banfield is an IRS agent. He's married to Christina. They have like a 4 or 5 year old daughter. They hire a au pair from Brazil. Can't think of her name right now. He starts an affair with this like 21-year-old au pair. I think he's like 34. The plot is this is so bizarre. The plot is the au pair and the husband set up a fake fetish account on some website that plays towards people's sexual fetishes. They pretend they are the wife's profile looking for a rape fantasy interaction. I didn't even know things like this existed, but there are evidently websites out there that can help you fulfill your fantasy. And
Mm-hmm.
so this man responds and comes to the house thinking he's meeting this woman he met online who wants to have this rape fantasy. The wife is completely clueless and thinks she's really has a burglar in her house going to rape her, right? The au pair is hanging around and calls the husband, like in a panic, to say someone's in the house. He just happens to be down the road at the McDonald's, races home, has his gun pulled, goes into the, if you could see this guy testify, it was just so comical. Breaks into the door, sees his wife being attacked from what he says this man had a knife, shoots the man, and then takes the knife and stabs his wife to death.
He Banfield guy.
Right. So the
Stabbed
au
his
pair, yes, he shot the man that they lured there and stabbed his wife. So the au pair is already confessed and she's in prison.
Mm-hmm.
So this trial that just ended yesterday, and the jury is in deliberation now, is proving that he conspired this whole setup, and he pled not guilty and said that his wife was into fetishes and that, when he came in, he legitimately thought that she was being attacked and that the man who was lured there stabbed his wife, and then Banfield shot the man. And he was on the witness stand for 2 days this week, and it was really the most bizarre thing for anyone to even think of. And so he's a real narcissist. He was trying to say that the au pair was just a fling. The au pair was saying that they were in love and planning to
Get married.
And one of the things the prosecution kept bringing out with his story is he gives this very detailed scenario of how he comes in the house, he hears skin hitting skin, but his wife didn't sound like she was having pleasure. It sounded like she was in distress. And he goes up the steps and he pushes the door in. Nowhere in this scenario does he ever wonder where his 4-year-old daughter is.
Hmm.
And you would just have to see it to believe it. The testimony about how their affair started, he was like saying that she was starting to tell him about dating sites that she would go on and that she was describing her perfect man. And he sat there on the witness stand and said, yeah, it sounded like she was describing me. And he actually smirked. I mean, it was so bad. It was so bad. It was so bad. And it was the strangest,
So, but was he guilty? That he was not guilty. He pleaded not guilty, but what was the verdict on that case? Like,
so they're deliberating now, and I'm looking to see if it's.
oh, okay, and we're not there yet.
So we went into deliberations yesterday. Okay, well, it did come in today. I missed it. So on February 2nd, 2026, a Virginia jury found Brendan Banfield guilty of 2 counts of aggravated murder, yes, along with firearm and child endangerment charges in the 2023 au pair murder case. Prosecutors successfully argued that Banfield plotted with the family's au pair, Juliana, to kill his wife, Christina, and a stranger named Joseph Ryan to pursue their affair. I'm so glad. Oh, so the verdict. Banfield was convicted of murdering his wife and Joseph Ryan in a catfish plot, part of the testimony was all about catfishing. The scheme was prosecutors proved that Banfield and Juliana created a fake account on a fetish website called FetLife to lure Ryan to their Herndon, Virginia home for a staged sexual encounter. On February 24th, 2023, Ryan was shot and Christine Banfield was stabbed. Banfield claimed he came home to find Ryan attacking his wife, but prosecutors presented evidence that the scene was staged. The co-defendant, Juliana, the au pair, pleaded guilty to manslaughter in 2024, testified against Banfield, and collaborated that the plot was engineered to allow them to be together. She took a plea deal that's going to allow her a very limited jail term, and then they're going to send her back to Brazil. So the evidence was the prosecution highlighted bloodstain evidence suggesting Christine's blood was dripped onto Ryan after he was already dead. Oh my God. I'm so glad they found him guilty.
Yeah, because I mean, to your point, like how he was like being very elaborate and about like description about the skin on skin
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Like that
On
is
the,
that
on,
is
on
like
the witness stand. On the witness stand. And the other thing that cooked his goose was, when he wanted to testify on his behalf, and they wanted him to go through every part of that day. And that morning, he kissed his wife goodbye. He had a very important meeting that was very important to his career. And then they have his supervisor come and testify that there was no meeting, that, they caught him in that lie. He was just hanging out at McDonald's waiting for the au pair to call him. It was the most bizarre thing. And that last little configuration we had about Pisces,
the conjunctions and stuff.
the imprisonment and
Oh,
the,
the imprisonment and the entrapment, or was it unexpected income?
and I had the uh, the lover's card.
Yeah,
Right.
love triangle.
That's the damnedest love triangle I've ever heard of in my life. But another weird twist of it, earlier today, they went to Florida to interview Joseph Ryan's mother, the guy who was catfished from this fetish website. Because, I mean, I guess there are people out there that do this, but the mother was like, well, it's just a fantasy, and he would have never really stabbed anybody. It was just for play. And it's like, oh, let's just play that you're going to get stabbed and raped. I mean, that's just weird, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. That's just weird. But
I
they
don't
found him
know.
guilty. I missed that. I'm so glad they found, because it would take them like 7-8 hours to deliberate. And they always say the longer they take, the closer you are to an acquittal. And it's like, man, I was like, that guy was so bad on the stand. And he kept
Understand?
talking about, his badge and his gun and his IRS status, and you know,
He's so full of himself. That's what that
he
was.
really was. It was unbelievable. And the other thing that I was caught by is they go back and show like the initial pictures and interview in 2024 of the au pair, and she was like very pretty, long blonde hair, and her face made up and everything. But she's been a year in jail now, and she comes to testify in an orange jumpsuit, hasn't dyed her hair, wearing these big, thick glasses. She looked nothing like
What she
this.
looked like before.
Right. And
Mhm.
he was not very attractive, mainly because of his personality. I mean, he was sitting there the whole time, very smug. I think he
That's
was the type
how.
that thought he was the smartest person in the room. Like,
Yeah, like full of himself, knowing his shit don't stink and all this and that, and and he's got it all figured out, right?
right, right. And when the boss guy says there was no meeting that morning. I mean, you could almost hear people in the courtroom gasp. Like, ugh. I mean, that's pretty brazen to tell a lie like that because it's easily found. I mean, that's easily traced. It was I'm sure there's bits of it on YouTube of his testimony, but his testimony, a lot of the speculation from the different lawyers that, they'll watch a case and then they'll talk about it was if he hadn't gone on the stand, they had reasonable doubt, but he went on the stand and made all of these, like,
Extra.
yeah, that's really what he hurt himself doing that.
Well, that's the thing. They don't know that.
Right. He was He was like one of the worst people I've seen in a long time for being so brazen. That. And the other thing that was so odd is they found her cell phone in a kitchen drawer. You know, they did all of this testimony about the forensics of where the cell phone was when certain things were being done.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that if you're waiting for your date to come to your house, your cell phone is going to be on your table. It's not going to be downstairs in the
On the
drawer.
table, it's gonna be right next to you or on your body. You're waiting for that fucking phone call. Like,
Yeah.
if you're into that.
Well, I learned a lot. I didn't know there were such things. And
But like to his point, that was kind of elaborate and thinking like using someone from the outside who through that
yeah,
made it seem probable, to do that sort of a
you need to
thing.
find his chart. I would love to find his chart. We'll see if it comes out. That's really something.
Mm-hmm.
I see
Mm.
some of the weirdest cases that you don't hear about on,
On
anywhere
like
because it's just
TV.
that's all court TV does is goes around the country and spotlights these different cases. The one they're showing now, I think, is in Utah. It was two brothers that were in business together in a pest extermination business, and the one brother caught his brother, the one on trial, stealing tens of thousands of dollars from the business and had him into the office to say that he was cutting him off, that he was no longer part of the business. And the next day, the brother on trial goes to his brother's home, kills his wife, and it was two or three young children. I mean,
Hmm.
like a 4-year-old girl's neck was snapped. I mean, just brutal, brutal. Sets the house on fire, then goes to his own house and sets his house on fire.
That's just
Canadian,
being like psychotic.
yeah, yeah, not looking good for him.
No, but the he could get some time for like not being altogether there if they
Right.
can prove that he wasn't mentally stable.
I
You
tell you,
know,
there are some incredible people in this world when you watch court TV. You
they're
know, like
very creative in that.
it's like 17-year old girl that shot and killed her mother and then like called a friend to come see the dead body. I mean, just really weird stuff.
I don't know.
I know. But, it's that or watching Bob Ross's successor paint. I tell you, I get like 4 or 5 channels, and I refuse to watch the mainstream news. I watch the weather, but yeah, I get off into some pretty obscure shows.
It's like, this one is interesting.
One of the channels is all the old black and white. No, not all black and white, but like old things like Mayberry and Batman and
Hmm.
what else? Um, Star Trek.
Okay,
Some
stuff
old nostalgic
like
channel, yeah.
70s type stuff that came
Yeah,
out
kind of
60s.
weird. So Friday is the beginning of the Winter Olympics in Italy. Do you like watching the Olympics?
My mom, my mom loves the Olympics. She'll sit there and watch it all day long.
So
Um,
it's weird how that goes back to Roman times, I mean, that has a really old history.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
because didn't it come from Mount Olympus
yeah,
or Olympia?
and they within the last few weeks I've seen clips of like the runners that carry the torch from
Mm-hmm.
town to town. And that's one event you can honestly say that globally it brings the global community together. It's not specific to any one country.
No, a lot of countries are really into, especially European countries. Like, they watch it just like any kind of like sporting. Um,
So tonight and tomorrow night is the Westminster Dog Show.
oh, is it?
Hmm.
You don't get that through your
It's on
thing.
Fox TV, which is a local channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they had agility yesterday. And they
Uh-huh.
had a little French bulldog.
Ah.
He came in fourth place. I was like, I've never seen one that energetic. That was really cool to watch. And yeah, we'll see what breed is number one tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
Um, was it the Bloodhound that won last year? It's kind of sad whatever breed wins because then they get overbred.
Oh, because of them
Yeah,
being
like
there.
it wins and everybody wants.
Mm-hmm.
It's bittersweet for sure.
It is. I always look at Luna, and Luna is so small compared to all the other pugs that I've seen. But I don't know. I mean, she's AKC, but she's not. She looks like a toy, like a little pug. Like she doesn't
Right.
look stocky one. Like maybe if you want to compare like Mojo to Leon,
Yeah,
you know,
Mojo's little.
they're different, right? Like
Yeah,
in size and stature and stuff.
right. There's let's see, there's about 7 or 8 pounds difference between my two.
Hmm.
And that's a lot.
Yeah, I would think so too. Like, because for Luna, even though she's a girl, I've seen my neighbors' pugs and they're like stocky and fat. And I'm like, well, what are you feeding them? Or like, how big was the mama and daddy and stuff? But
Right.
when I've seen her parents, they weren't really that big. So I'm wondering, like, how are the other breeders are breeding their pugs? Are they like, I
I
don't
think they
know.
all have a different philosophy. Like some breeds have like 3 different weight classes and things like that. And I guess it just depends on who it is and their opinion about it. I don't think there's a standard.
Well, Luna doesn't look bad. She just looks like little. I look at her
Yeah,
and she's like, "You're so tiny." Like,
right,
and she just looks like a toy, like a what's it called, teacup pug, like not a regular size,
right.
like a little one. Uh, but so I feed her like a human too. Like I feed
Yeah,
her, just a little bit of kibble, but I mix in like just meats and stuff with vegetables,
right.
and she looks healthy. She doesn't look fat. So I don't know. Like maybe it's genetic. I don't know.
It is.
Her sisters look chubby and chunky.
It's not good to put too much weight on them with their flat face. They say,
Mm-hmm.
keep them thin because it's easier for them to breathe. Sometimes I think mine look a little thin, but it's better to be thin than too heavy because it's the
Mm-hmm.
breathing.
Right. I mean, yeah, I guess so. It's just I look at my neighbors and they're like big ones, and here comes little Luna, not even half. Like I think she's half the size. I don't know.
I like
Like
the little ones better.
she's little, but she's feisty. She
Yeah.
acts like the alpha female, and I'm like, excuse me, ma'am. And then she'll do this whole, like on the snot out the face. And I'm like, excuse
Right.
me, is that your way of saying, like, look here, Missy, like,
Mojo
it's
does that.
gross. It's like, who said this? Like, because if you don't pay attention to them and they're like with attitude, they'll go,
Yeah.
it's gross. Um,
All right. Well, speaking of dogs, I guess I'll go let mine out.
yeah, I was about to say she's kind of quiet. So,
Yeah.
okay. So I guess for the next moon, I
It's the
think
17th is a lunar eclipse and
is that an
new
Aquarius?
moon. Hmm?
Is that Aquarius or Pisces?
Aquarius.
Okay.
And it's on February 17th, which is a Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
You want to shoot for a Tuesday night? We haven't done that before.
No. Yeah. So yeah, we can do it because I normally record the general collective reading on Tuesday, but what
Oh,
I can do is I can swap it out for Monday instead of Tuesday, so I don't do too much in one day.
okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. We'll do that.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Well, good deal. Good deal.
Mhm. So I guess if no one here has any questions for Sunny, you can always book a reading with her at linemountainhealing.com, and we will see you next time.
Yes. And wishing for warmer temperatures, warmer air by then, hopefully.
You can have mine. It's hot here now. I'm feeling the heat.
Yeah, I need to blow some to the east.
Yeah, okay, I will.
All right. Well, take it care, and I'll see you soon.
Okay, all right. Bye bye.